to the House of Mario, a South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by a 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 261 are open. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about some of that Nintendo Direct stuff, the Pokemon Presents, a bunch of stuff have been up in the meantime, because missed out last week. I forgot to say last week, I'm going on a cruise, and had no reception, so couldn't do it on the boat. But happy to be back with Josh Junig. Josh, thank you very much for joining me once again. It's exciting stuff. Hey, look, we've made it. Was this the third episode? God, we're getting
third episode. Is that where you were last week, Drew? You could just left me here. I tried to get into the door, and there was no one there.
I didn't even leave the keys, did I? I could at least do that, so you could come in, make yourself home, and
give me a set of keys next time, I reckon.
Yeah. That's why there's a bit of a hole at the back door. You have to go to the toilet, and you have to dig a little bit of a hole and do that. It's a bit rough.
I'll break a window next time and come in, make myself comfortable. But we were away for the best week possible, weren't we? Because it's not like there was any Nintendo news around. It wasn't like a big partner showcase Nintendo Direct or a Pokemon Presents or nothing like that. So no, it was good. You timed it well.
It's always the way. Like last year, had a hiatus when Tears of the Kingdom came out. Had a hiatus when Mario Wonder came out. This year, have a week off when there's a Nintendo Direct and a Pokemon Presents. You know, pick your time, Drew. Christ almighty. Chantel could have picked the timing a little bit better when she booked the cruise in July last year, couldn't she? She could have worked that one out a little bit better.
I mean, correct. And I think February is a very special month for Nintendo fans with Directs as well. So maybe block that one out completely next time.
Yeah, maybe that was my fault. Hey, sweat up. Typically, Nintendo likes to advertise to their obsessed fan base that time of year. So I'm gonna have to sit that one out.
If you look at the stats, there's always a Nintendo Direct in February. That's why we can't go on our cruise and be a family together.
But we should have predicted. 2024. It's going to be a partner Direct with no Nintendo games except for one, I guess. But they're like we can sneak that one in. No one will care about that. I do, to be honest, but no one will care about that.
Yeah, a weird one though, isn't it? Just it is, but isn't at the same time. But we've got plenty to talk about. Don't worry about that. So all to come. Be good.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been a sort of great week. I've just gotten back from holiday. Basically, went on a cruise, a 4-night cruise with my family. It was fun, but at the same time, on a boat with a 2-year-old, I was very stressed, making sure he didn't fall off or, all that type of thing. Not that he would fall off. That would be quite an effort for him to climb the side and hop off. I feel like that would be quite extreme, but
very neglectful of you as well if that happened. Yes.
Yeah, weirder things have happened, but yeah, had a good time. And Josh, we only saw each other not long ago. A couple of nights ago had tea, both our partners. Right. That was a lot of fun. It's very nice.
We do hang out outside of the show, which is funny. It's like we're friends. But no, that was a good night. We had a good dinner, didn't we? And went out for dessert and went to a new place that was very, very busy, but I think worth the wait in the end.
Yeah, it was. I never actually finished my fix shake I got from there. I was way too full after like a chicken party and the ice cream. Just with the line, I just felt like I had to make most of it. Just buy what I need. But I wasn't a big fan of the fix shake. I messed up with my chocolate flavoring because I got in there. And I'm like, just a chocolate fix shake, thanks. That'll be good. And she's like, do you want fondant? Do you want this? Do you want that? There's like literally 5 types of chocolate I could choose from. I'm like, mate. So I'm literally trying 5 just to decide. And I remember the first one I tried. I'm like, that tasted nice. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Because they all tasted the same afterwards. Because you're trying 5 different things of chocolate within 10 seconds.
It's on your palate, and you can't tell the difference. Yeah.
If there was not such a big line, I would have like washed it down with a bit of milk, just like sort of swirl it around like a wine tasting. But
you guys were in line for ages doing it, and then me and Mickey were just sort of eating our ice cream outside, waiting for you guys. And what's taking them so long? But when I saw you guys had the thick shake, that made a bit more sense. I feel like no one orders that at that time of day, and so they probably weren't prepared for it either. And it was so busy. It was just like one of those items that takes so much time for them to prepare and make. So
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's at night time. It wasn't hot or anything. So the whole operation they're running is based on things that you shouldn't be having that time of night either. So they should have been prepared for the cheeky couple coming in for a fix shake. But maybe they weren't.
I don't know. It's No, it was crazy. It's a Messamo or something in Adelaide. Very, very, very popular and very good actually. It was worth the wait if you're in Adelaide and want to check it out. Kent Town, I think it's in.
Good old Adelaide, eh?
It's pretty good.
I'm happy to
not too much.
have left the city. I'm happy to be back where nothing happens, where we got one traffic light. I got sick of traffic lights, Josh.
No.
I got to admit.
No, you had a great time. You were game hunting.
I had a great time.
I was seeing your photos and all the Wii games. Your Wii Renaissance is your Wii revolution is continuing here.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit concerning in some ways. So yes, I did get.
I've got a bag of something.
I've got like the green screen cutting out the blue bag. But I've got I think I picked up 24 games over the weekend. So I organised with one person over Buy, Swap and Sell on Facebook. Actually, no, on Gumtree. I found him on Gumtree, and he had like a bunch of games. And I basically went through the list and like picked out the ones I wanted, which were anywhere between probably $10 to $25, except for Pikmin 2. New play control, which I picked up. That was like $45. That's pretty expensive for that game.
Okay.
But by like $10. But it was in like really good nick. Like the instruction booklet is perfect, as well as like the My Nintendo or Club Nintendo card. It's just like brand new. So
hell yeah.
Yeah. So I could still put that code in if it existed. But yeah, so I got a bunch of games from him, and it was really interesting too, because sort of I was talking to him, and he's like a full-time game flipper pretty much. And he got into it during COVID, and that's his full-time gig now. That's his business that he does. And I was just sort of asking him some questions regarding that, because I just found it really fascinating that somebody just from their house is making like a full-time wage just flipping video games, which I feel like that would stress me out in some ways. I guess like any business you run yourself, but you know, with like, I guess the times changing, like with GameCube games getting so expensive, like if you want to get into trying to flip those, the amount you have to put up front and all of that. But yeah, it was pretty cool. He gave me some tips about how to clean game cases as well, which I basically got some like cleaning product from Woolies, and I get all like the sticky residue off. So I spent like a night.
Silly EB game stickers, those big W ones from back in the day, just hard to get off. Yeah.
Oh, the worst ones are cash converters, because I've gone to a fair few cash converters around the city, and I picked up a few games from cash converters as well, and their stickers are just disgusting. Like if they're so hard to get off, if they don't rip, they'll just leave like just sticky residue, and this stuff just gets it straight off. It's awesome. So I spent a lot of time just take everything out of the case. I like scrub the sides so it brings out the whiteness back on the Wii game box, and clean all the sticker residue off. And so much crap comes off of it, because some of these games, like if they're a launch game here in Australia, it's going to be like 17, 18 years old. Like it's an old system. Like you don't think about the Wii as that old at the moment, but it really is. Right. Like it's
pretty well retro now. I know if you call it like 15 years since it's come out, and it's I think 12, 13 years since it stopped being the current Nintendo console. I don't know. It's pretty close now, I would have thought.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been really, really enjoying it, but it's so addictive. It really is actually quite addictive. Collecting, because I haven't been in it for a long time, and it's because of that. Like Pokemon cards or retro game collecting as well, because it's what's good about it is that like the whole library's there, so you don't have to like wait necessarily. It's all there, and it's at like especially like the Wii, it's at a relatively good price, so you can
get a good sweet spot.
Yeah, you can be like, look,
lots of copies around.
You can pick up a $15 game or a $45 game, and probably the most expensive games would be like Pandora's Tower, or The Last Story. They're like $140. They're like an expensive game. And there's a couple of other
Dawn,
ones.
Fire Emblem, I reckon.
Right, yeah, yes, that's a very expensive game. So there's like a couple like that, but there's no like crazy ones. Like I was looking at some GameCube stuff, and to get a Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, that was a $400 game. I'm looking around for it now. It's a $500 game. Like it's it's still going up, which is
only one way.
Frustrating. So yeah, I think when it comes to GameCube, I'm going to get a GameCube, a Japanese spice orange one. I love that color, so I want to get one. I've always wanted one, but I think I'll eventually make the plunge, and I'll try and get a decent deal. Just keep an eye on eBay. And there's actually there's a bunch of like mods you can do to GameCubes. There's one called Pico Boot, which requires some soldering. And then you can like boot games up from an SD card. There's multiple ways that you can do that. You can do it through like an exploit on a save file, so you can just boot it up from a disk, or you can do some things where you actually like it just boots up by itself, which is handy. But there's actually a brand new one coming out called, which I saw. I can't remember the particular channel's name. I'll give them a shout out if I remember. But it's called Floppy Drive, and basically you just open up the GameCube and you slot it into where the disk drive slots in the actual console itself, and you slot it in and you do some screws up. You put a bracket on, you put the actual chip on, then you put the case back on, and you can read games off an SD card as well. And it's what I really like about that one in particular is like the menu looks like the actual GameCube's menu. It doesn't look like it's like some homebrew thing or anything like that. It's just like a nice clean menu. Looks natural to the GameCube, where like all of the mini discs for your ROMs show up, and it just like you just select what you want. So I think I'm gonna go that route as well, and
cool.
Play some GameCube games because I want the functionality of the GameCube Game Boy Advance player to play the Game Boy games.
So get a Game Boy player as well. Oh, wouldn't need a Game Boy player if you could just do it all through the SD card. Yeah.
I do want to use actual hardware though for the actual.
You do, okay.
Game Boy stuff, because I want to do like the functionality between the Pokemon games and all of that.
How does the region locking for the? Is there a way? I know Game Boy Advance games it doesn't matter, but for the GameCube games themselves, is there another way you can do it so that PAL version games at their 50 hertz can work on the Japanese one?
Yeah, well, all of these mods unlock it, so they make it region free.
It completely region unlocked. Yeah,
which is
cool.
Which is cool. Because
hell yeah,
a few of my GameCube games I actually got were from somebody selling their collection, and I'm like, so why are you selling them, type of thing. And he says, I'm selling my collection so I can swap them for a American library to run them at 60 hertz. 60 hertz. And like I get it, but
it's where it's at.
But that much effort and that much money, and just
a lot of money.
I hope he got in, but this was a few years ago now. But I hope he got in before all the prices just went.
All those COVID price rises, yes.
I think
if you love the GameCube, it is the best way to do it, isn't it? The NTSC, the US versions. That's
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't really tell too much. I'm not that fussy, but I know some people are when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, man, you are hardcore. Like I wouldn't necessarily do that.
It's next level. Yeah.
Especially now though, because this was the case back when he did it, but he could have his collection, the games from his childhood, the ones he picked up over time, just immaculate however he had it set up. He could have his childhood GameCube there ready to go to play those games, access his old save files, all of that. But he could just get a second GameCube, hack it, and put the American versions of the games on an SD card and play it in his 60 hertz.
Yeah.
Without having to swap the physical media over. And what's also good about that, like you can have your collection, but you can not like burn out the disc, don't have to damage the disc over time by actually using it, and all of that stuff too. So it's good at actually preserving your collection, even if you're, not actually using the physical media. Because,
not using it. Yeah.
What
I found out?
What was that?
Disc rot. Apparently, this is a thing with the like not just GameCube disc, Wii disc, but like CDs in general. And if you really leave them in a bad condition, like obviously in a climate friendly room or outside their protective case or even like exposure to sun, like the actual
100%.
the rot that happens in it. I did not know about this. This was me on like TikTok the other day, just looking through it and someone explaining it. Like, okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I was looking. I've been looking at a bunch of like game collection videos and all of this. This is like my obsession at the moment, just like in my free time. And apparently, GameCube in particular, and this is really heartbreaking considering the prices of GameCube games. GameCube games are extremely like just
susceptible to it.
Susceptible to it. Yes, thank you. I was looking for the word. Susceptible to disc rot. And in particular, like Metal Gear Twin Snakes, for some reason, that game is very common to disc rot. And what disc rot basically looks like, it looks like there's like moisture underneath the actual like layering of the disc.
Yeah,
and that
that one's fine.
Like the paint off the top of the disc can also like looks like it's like chipping off. So yeah, you got to be careful with your GameCube games, especially like if you go and get like you can imagine going to get a $500 copy of Pokemon, and then it just rots on you. Then it's worth nothing. Like,
yeah, that's right. No, so, mine are looking good. So health check, all done. But I think you'd have to be very bad with your collection and how you maintain it. I think this is, especially for me, I've always made sure they're in their case and not left out. And you know, I'm very mindful of the temperature of the room, and like I had for months before because our house is new, you didn't come with curtains, you got to get them yourself. So I had newspaper and old T-shirts just plastered across my window, sorry, just so that no sunlight came in. Like, you don't want sun damage to my games, to my amiibo, nothing like that. So it's it's just the extra things you got to do, isn't it? Just to protect them.
Yeah, it's like, it's thinking about that type of stuff where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I going to get all these discs when I can just, when I've been digital for so long, what am I doing? I'm just accepting myself to all of this crap again.
It's fun, and it
is fun. That's right.
That was cool that the seller let you pick the games and not like some of them are just like, no, it's a bundle. You got to buy all 30 of these, and 5 of them are like 5 to 10 of them like shovelware that they want to get rid of in that transaction because they know you're not going to pick those up when you do your picking, the individual selection. So no, that was cool, and good on them for flipping and making a business out of it because it'd be a bit of work. Be fun though.
Absolutely. Yeah. He was like, "Oh yeah, are you into GameCube game? Like, he's trying to suss me out as a customer. Like, are you into Game Boy games?" I'm like, yeah. So he sent me like a big list of like all the games he's got, and like he's got like a wall of Wii games, a wall of he's got so much stuff because he started off as a collector, and then he sort of got rid of stuff he didn't need in his collection, duplicates and all of that type of thing. And it sort of turned into like, literally a business. And I can so see that because when I went and picked up my Wii and I had like, I don't want the Skylanders, don't want the U-Draw tablet. And like the idea of like, getting that stuff and like flipping it to put towards more purchases. I can see that being a lot of fun. Like I always knew it was fun, but sure. I wanted to stay away from it because it works out to be expensive. And that turned out to be true. Because
Not fair.
Because I went to Southern Games in Adelaide. I finally it's like a 50-minute drive, but I'm like, I got we were in Adelaide just sort of waiting for like a appointment Chantel had on Monday. So I'm like, oh look, I'll take the opportunity. I put Lucas in the car and we went for a big drive. Went to Southern Games from a recommendation, Luke in the Discord, just because I couldn't find any other retro game stores, so that was the one. So I went to that one. And they didn't have too much. It was all card game stuff, and they just had like a wall of like a few like Xbox 360, Wii, PS3, PS2, like stuff like that. And I picked up like Need for Speed Carbon and Deadly Creatures on Wii. Deadly Creatures is like it seems pretty interesting. You play as like spiders and scorpions, and you take on like other bugs, which is pretty cool, like a third-person action game. It seems pretty interesting. I've seen like a few people recommend it, and I picked it up for $15. It typically, I saw it on eBay. It goes from anywhere from like 25 to 45. I'm like, cool. That was a nice little pickup. And I was getting the Need for Speed games just because I really like the series, so I'll try and see what the Wii versions are like.
Yeah. I always like. Isn't there a sequel to Deadly Creatures, or is it just the one? I can't remember now.
I think it was just the one. I haven't heard about a sequel.
I always remember seeing it advertised, or sorry, on display to purchase. I never bought it, but yeah, just one of those. I don't know. Like I'd never played it or had an association with it, but you kind of, as a kid, I remember that on the store shelf. Okay, yeah, it's cool. So yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I'm picking up just little bits of stuff like that. So might need a bit of a break just financially.
Yes. Yeah.
Save
up for April, mate.
$100
next month. Toy Fair.
Yeah, that's right. You said that was April, wasn't it?
21st of April in Adelaide.
Yeah, it is March, isn't it? Yeah, it is
next month.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see. I'm worried. Maybe I shouldn't go.
There'll be a lot of Wii games. I know 2 vendors who sell a lot of Wii games outside of other Nintendo stuff, but a lot of Wii stuff. So I feel like you're collecting the Wii stuff when no one else really is, and so like there'll be a lot of stuff there for you to pick out, and not just the standard Mario Kart, Wii, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and all the basic Wii
like
Sports.
I already
that kind
had
of
that stuff.
There'll be some really good niche kind of more specific things. Like there'll be a Mario Party 9, not just 8, and there'll be possibly a Punch Out, other things like that. So it'll be you'll have a good time if you're there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I was watching somebody on YouTube. I just searched retro games Adelaide on YouTube. I didn't find much, but I did find somebody do a vlog of the Adelaide Toy Fair in 2018. So a few years ago now, 6 years ago. And I was watching him, and he's like, just got his phone out, first person, rummaging through, doing like a bit of a vlog, and like looking at some of the prices on these things. I'm like, oh god. How things have changed.
Like how much have increased since?
Yes, yeah. Like he was going through like a loose box of just fully boxed Game Boy Advance games. Nothing crazy, nothing like the Pokemon games, but like some Sonic games and the Mario Advance games and stuff like that, and stuff like $30 each. Whereas like that's like a fair price to pay for those things, but it's not the case. And he got a few things where I was just looking at the price. I was like, damn, man, it's how things have changed.
How things do change. That's correct. Yeah.
I think the Wii sort of collecting phase is like beginning though, because I think a lot of people might be. Because I was listening to a Nintendo Shack today, and Rebecca was saying on there that she's selling some Wii games, and that people are like actually seeking out like particular versions of like Just Dance and all of these things you wouldn't expect people to be looking at. So I'm like, maybe.
Oh really? Okay, the Just Dance.
Maybe it's just sort of starting. Don't know. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's what people get to their, early 20s, get a job, get nostalgic because they're working all the time. They see a Wii game that reminds them, when they were a kid and they had no responsibilities, and you finish school and you play, Wii Sports Resort when that first comes out, or Skyward Sword, all the sorts of stuff on the Wii there. And so might be around the time now that it starts to happen.
Because what sort of Wii collection did you have when you were a kid? Because for me, like, I spent like the $100 that it cost to get some games. Like I remember like Twilight Princess so vividly because I'm like, I've never played a Zelda game before. It looks cool, but it's $100. Put the money down, and I fell in love with it. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and it's gone on. I've never missed a Zelda game since. So, and obviously gone back to Ocarina of Time and everything. So it really did create like a love, like a passion for like, it's kind of when I moved from being a Pokemon fan, and I played Mario, to being like, all right, I'm a Nintendo fan, like, and played like, majority of what came out. But I did pick and choose a lot, when it came to Wii games, like New Super Mario Bros. U. I literally only got that the other week because I wasn't spending $100 on, a console version of a game I loved on DS, but I didn't need to buy it again, essentially. So
you mean Wii, don't you? I think you said U, so like the Wii version, not the Wii U.
Yeah, the Wii version. Yeah, sorry if I said U.
Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So there's a lot of games like that where I didn't pick up.
Yeah, I mean, mine's a pretty heavy Nintendo collection because it was me and my two brothers, and so we were there pretty well nearly day one for Wii, and all the way with Wii Sports and Twilight Princess. But then we got the Wii Play to get the extra remote, and then all the Wii series stuff we've pretty well got, like Wii Fit, Wii Sports Resort. Didn't get Wii Music. We skipped that, but like WarioWare, that was my first exposure to that. Roll, Paper Mario, Super Paper Mario, and then obviously Galaxy and Galaxy 2. Like they were my favorite games. Those ones, I just love them so much. Pikmin, that was my first time playing them with the Wii remote. That's still the best way to play them. And yeah, Super Mario Bros. Wii, loved that after a new Super Mario Bros. On the DS. Metroid Prime 3, played that. Got through that, and then got my Sora amiibo in the way of the other stuff. But just we had Skyward Sword and all the main stuff really. Mario Party 8, we skipped 9. But we were pretty heavy first party Nintendo. We didn't really stick too far outside of that. On the Wii, we had a 360 as well, and later on a PS3, and it was just that kind of you get the Nintendo exclusives on the Wii, but anything else, you just get on your Xbox and away you go.
Yeah. And for me too, it just became a massive Smash Brothers machine, especially like towards the end. Apart from Skyward Sword, it was just like, the Wii, the stand was taken off, it was put on its side, and the GameCube controllers just kind of lived in there for the most part.
Loved it. The fact it was backwards compatible with the GameCube too was unreal. Because I had a GameCube, but being able to sort of keep playing it on the one machine, and then playing Smash Bros. Still with the GameCube controller, we never liked using the Wii remote and nunchuck for that. It was always the GameCube controller. Loved Melee, playing heaps of that. So the way they continued out was just awesome.
Yeah, I'm in a very nostalgic place at the moment, really enjoying it. So now that I bought all this shit, I'll actually play some games by the time we record next week.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Well, you just look at it and just admire it from afar. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I don't know if my copy of Pikmin 1 will be coming in. I bought Pikmin 1, new play control for Wii, and Epic Mickey on eBay. So they're going to be coming in. I was keen to play Epic Mickey before it got announced that it was going to have a remaster, but the remaster doesn't faze me at all. Actually, I just want to play it on Wii. Like, I just want to play it with the pointer and all that.
Yeah, it's just the first game God too.
Intended.
I really thought they did bundle it together, but no one.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been a no-brainer, I guess. But especially for the price, like if it's it's pretty expensive. It's not like a full price release. Did you say it was $60?
I'm not sure actually. I imagine it's going to be around about that price here in Australia anyway. But I haven't seen actually how much better it looks compared to the Wii version. It still looks a bit janky from what I saw in the trailer. It doesn't look as smooth as I reckon it could be.
Yeah, I think it's improved quite a bit, but
has it?
It's hard to know, but it doesn't really faze me. But yeah, it's funny because like before we were talking, we just had like a few things to discuss. That will fill in the hour. That conversation somehow just filled in 29 minutes. I don't know how.
I never doubt that, Drew. It's correct. Can I do one thing before we do proper talks?
Yes.
For those in Australia with Amiibo, they've just done a whole bunch of restocks. So if you're in go to your EB, go to My Nintendo Store, and even the Gamesman, they've all got like different restocks of Amiibo. And so look on there, see if there's anything missing in your collection, because like I got a Mewtwo Amiibo from My Nintendo Store. Big one I've always missed for ages, and I freaking love this thing. Just how it's huge. It's really big. This Amiibo. It's very cool. When I'm a bit of a Pokemon hunt with Greninja as well. I like the good old Greninja.
Nice.
And then Lucario finally.
Wow. Yeah, you got some great ones. That's awesome. I was in I went to Shin Tokyo in Adelaide actually, and they had a fair few.
Oh, you did?
Like,
yeah.
Unique Amiibo in there. But I was looking at
it's expensive. They're marking
one
up.
they're like $60. I'm like, oh, you cheeky boys at this shop. So yeah, hopefully the restock
it is cheeky.
fucks that up for him.
Yeah, I'm loving it now because the restocks are slowly happening for other different ones. We've had the Zeldas recently. We've had other series come back as well, and I've stopped looking online, like for eBay or like other places where it's like the markups happened. I'm just waiting for the reprints now, and if the reprint happens and it's $21.95, I'm like, that's fine. I'll pay that. I'll pay the standard recommended retail price, and away we go. It might just be at like a toy fair coming up. If I get it loose out of the box, then I can get it a little cheaper.
Yeah,
that might be the way to go.
Yeah, I cannot justify paying more than like retail price for Amiibo. There's no way I'd pay $60. Like maybe if I had like one Amiibo left in my collection, like one, and I come across it and it's $60, it's like, all right, let's just take the Band-Aid off, because if I just never come across it again or it doubles in price, I'm gonna be so frustrated if it doesn't just fill in that gap. But I've got plenty of gaps in my Amiibo hunting.
Yeah, I think the most I pay for a single Amiibo is like $40-something.
Oh,
so like double. Current. It might have been.
You obviously really wanted it. You can't even remember.
Yeah. What it is. Yeah, it might have been Rosalina, I think. I think it was a low 40s, Rosalina, or it was maybe the Bayonetta. Getting that one.
Yeah.
I think I was keen to, me after playing Bayonetta and wanting, like, I like the series now, I want the Amiibo to sort of show that. So, yeah, it would have been one of those occasions, but very, very rarely do I pay more than the retail price. Still a lot of money, though. Still a lot of money.
Especially if you're buying a few of them. Like, if you're just buying one, it's not too bad, but...
I've got like 90 something now. But did you go to Vicious Video, the other store?
No, I didn't. I was basically just on like, the Maps app on my phone. I typed in video games. I saw it on the on the thing, but it was closed. It was closed today. It's like closed Monday, Tuesdays, and Sundays. So like,
did you go today? Yeah, Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah, so I've never heard of this shop. What is Vicious Video like?
So this came out like a bit over a year ago. It is a VHS store, just off the David Jones Renaissance Arcade, I think it's called, in the Brundle Mall there. And so predominantly VHSs, and so like very cool to go in there, just even if you don't buy anything, just to look and see all the old VHSs from yesteryear. But at the very back wall, they have boxed vintage video games, and so some really cool things. I think they've got a really nice. Last time I was there, Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES in really good condition. They got like a Tetris Attack or something on the Super Nintendo. Some old school GameCube and PS2 games. I think I've seen them Donkey Kong Land or something, Country Land, whatever it's called, on the Game Boy ones back in the day. And so they've had some really cool things there on display. So I always just every now and then just have a little peek just to see what's there and available. So it's the back wall there, and then also the side window, the display window. So around the corner from the actual door to get into the store, there's another display cabinet there, where you can see some other things boxed and the like. So I think there was a Link to the Past boxed on the Super Nintendo from memory the other day. So yeah, there's some cool things there. It's just, we've got Shintokyo, EB Games, and this Vicious Video place in the CBD, really, for retro video games, I suppose.
Yeah,
EB's not retro, but maybe some old stuff with the Amiibo. But yeah, they're the ones.
I had a bit of a look in the EB Games, and I remember like the second hand, or obviously the pre-owned section of EB Games being pretty good to cipher through, have a look at. Now it's just like it's a lot of the worthless stuff just on like PS4 and Xbox One. Like it's just like a bunch of sport games and sort of Far Cry 4, that type of like age of game. Whereas there's not really that much to cipher. I don't know. I guess it's not really what I'm looking for. If I was after like God of War or something, the greatest hits version, I might be content. But it's interesting that this. I don't know how a
Yeah.
place would pay for their rent just selling VHSs. I got no idea how that's a
Oh,
business that can pay
in
that
this
type of rent.
economy
Like,
as well, I don't know.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
tough.
correct. I'm not sure either. Yeah,
Like,
and then
yeah,
they're very
as
limited
cool as it
opening
is.
hours as well. So, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So hats off to them. It's a tough gig out there, especially
yeah,
the current cost of living pressures at the moment. This is like the one thing that people will do cut back on when times get tough.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's something, that's for sure. When I typed in video games to the maps, there was a place nearby me. It was called Old Games. I'm like, oh, that sounds like the place I'm after. Old Games. I don't know. I typed it in, I walked there, and it was
Old
just like
games.
it didn't exist. It wasn't there. Like it said old. Like I don't know
Gone
if it was
games.
Gone Games. I don't know if it was a place. Like, have you ever heard of a place called Old Games just out of Rundle Mall?
I've never heard
Or
of. No, never.
yeah. So I don't know what that was
No.
about. That was just a stitch up.
Okay, yeah.
But I sort of walked there. I'm like,
Got Foolish
you've
Fuji in the
arrived.
chat.
Hello,
You've
Foolish.
arrived,
How
yeah.
you going? Good to see you.
Hey, Foolish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Old
Good to see
games.
us live.
I
Yes,
wonder what
yes,
happened.
we
I'll
are
have to look
live.
into that.
Yeah, yeah. I sort of I googled it and couldn't find it. I feel like I was gonna get jumped. Like I just like set up.
Yeah, it's a front or something. You'll get robbed all your Wii money. Give us your Wii money, mate.
Give us your Wii money. I've
I
spent
mean,
all my Wii
I
money.
live in Adelaide and I ain't heard of it. Yeah.
No, yeah, it obviously isn't a thing. That's funny.
If I haven't heard of it and I live in Adelaide and I look for this stuff, then their marketing wasn't good if it did exist. That's all I'm saying. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, well, enough about my bloody Wii escapades. What have you been up to? What have you been playing? All of that fun stuff.
Yeah. I've been big lately on the Splatoon 3 DLC. So
Yes.
Side Order that just came out the other week. Had a really good deep dive with the Cheesy on Nintendbania the other day. So check that out if you're keen for a really big, like, in-depth conversation on that. But this is like a roguelike kind of game and completely different to what the main campaign of Splatoon really is, where you sort of outside of the online third-person shooter that you do, it's the like a platforming kind of shooting, third-person shooting mission mode, objective-based game when you play it single player. But this is taking all those elements, but making it a roguelike where you got to climb a tower, get some abilities, get new weapons, and do certain objectives to try and get as high as you can out of like 30 floors. And so it's actually been surprisingly fun and addictive just to sort of go through a run, get pretty close, and then you get your as any good roguelike, you get your permanent upgrades, and then you get that satisfaction like, okay, I feel a bit stronger now, I feel a bit better for it, and then you sort of dig into it again and try to keep aspiring to get up. So it's been a cool time because I haven't played Splatoon 3 in like I played it for a good solid, I reckon, 4 to 6 months when it came out. So probably maybe up to early 2023, maybe the odd Splatfest after that. But it's been at least a year now, I reckon, since I had actually played Splatoon 3. So it's been cool. Going back into that and seeing the new updates, like there's a new season already. So I've been playing some of the new stuff as well. So yeah, it's got me back into the game, which has been great. When was the last time you played Splatoon 3? Drew, might have been a while for you too, I think.
Yeah, a long time for me. I was playing multiplayer a fair bit when, like, I guess it might have even been close to when it came out. Like, the few months where everyone's playing it, and I'm like, a few friends were Twitch streaming it, and I'll jump in with them and play. But yeah, it's been a long time. It's been easily over a year, probably. Yeah, early 2023 potentially. That's when I might have last played it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, last year it was hard to get back to any games just because there was so much coming out and a lot of stuff that was on my list to sort of get to. Like I haven't even like beat the main campaign of Splatoon 3 yet. Like I fell off of it I guess, pretty early. So yeah, I haven't even thought
I
about going
enjoyed
back to
that and the whole yeah,
Oh, you go.
it was fun. It was a good time.
Mm.
Yeah, it was going through those different uh well, they're on the island there trying to get to the middle there with the rocket or something. And so yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed a lot about Splatoon 3, the card based building game as well. I've forgotten the name of that. That's I think that was probably the personal favorite of mine. Playing through that and enjoyed that because that was one of the few new things with Splatoon 3 because they had no new game modes or um everything had just continued on from the second game, but that was one of the new things, I suppose. So, yeah, like last year was so good, wasn't it, for games that it was just by the time 2023 had come around, we had what Fire Emblem Engage, we had a Shadow Drop Metroid Prime remastered, Kirby, Bayonetta, and then obviously Advance Wars and Tears of the Kingdom. So it was never gonna get enough oxygen in my backlog to keep going. It was always going to get shelved after that.
Yeah, I mean, you just say that. That was all before. That was all in 5 months.
First 5 months. Yep. Yep.
Like crazy. I love like all of those games apart from Advance Wars. Like I loved all of those games apart from Advance Wars. Maybe Fire Emblem. I never finished Fire Emblem Engage, so I can't talk to that one exactly. But yeah, Bayonetta and Kirby and Tears of the Kingdom, obviously. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed them. Some of my favorite games last year. Yeah. No, I am.
Yeah.
I think listening to your episode in Nintendonia, I just want to, you've obviously said, like, if you want a good in-depth discussion with it, you brought on Cheesy, who's like, just loves Splatoon. It's it's his favorite franchise. So, he's just an expert on the series. And listening to you guys talk about it, I'd like to give it a go. I got to fit it in from, with all the games I'm playing from 2007.
That's right. 16 years of catch up for you. That's it's very separate to the main stuff. It will be a great time if you're like interested in the genre. Like I just think of the God of War recent DLC, the free DLC that they dropped. It's the same sort of premise, like a DLC of like a roguelike kind of add-on to the main story, and it is surprisingly fun and addictive. I just think maybe because you're in and out, you'll do an objective, you'll come out, you'll select your next color palette or color chip, and then you go back into it. So when you die and have to restart, it's a little tedious at first trying to go through it because it's easy and just sort of, I need to just keep going through this. But once you get past probably the second boss at floor 20 to 30, it gets pretty hard, and you appreciate those breaks when you do a floor and you can sort of put the controller down, let your hands sort of breathe a bit and massage them, get them ready for the next floor because they're all pretty like hard up to like 5 minutes per floor at that stage onwards.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I can see myself not beating it. Like I'm not that good at Splatoon. I feel like, yeah,
yeah,
might have to practice a bit to get through that game, but I do like the premise though. Like it's just Splatoon is just so fun. So to be able to jump into it like that and be able to do a round and then put it down, I think that'd be great because I'm just not that that multiplayer inclined really. So when it comes to like, waiting for lobbies, and then I hope that the servers and that have improved since I played Splatoon 3. But when I was playing it, it was really hard to find a match.
Just it's rough at first.
It kept on disconnecting, and it was a little bit rough. So the idea of just getting that through a mode where it's just like score attack as well, it's just aiming for like to get as far as you can. I can see that being a lot of fun. So I might pick it up later on, but I wouldn't hold my breath. It's not at the top of my list, but
no,
it does.
That's fair.
With everybody sort of talking about it, it does make me want to just pick up the game again because, like I said, I've got to get through that campaign, and I was enjoying it. I really was enjoying it. It's just OCD, just like how like you got like your hub world and like you're removing like I can't remember what you're removing. Is it like sludge or something?
I think so.
Like the levels, I can't quite remember, but
clean them up.
I remember being so OCD. I've got to like clean every like little bit. I'm there just like
it's kind of like Power Wash.
Yeah, it's like Power Wash Simulator, where like you're just like cleaning the whole thing. I just found myself doing that and like 100%ing each level as I was going, and yeah, I got to ignore my OCD a little bit because that
Just
holds
let
me
it
up.
slide a little to get through.
Yeah.
You know what we should do with the imminent closure of the Wii U online services? Play the actual original Splatoon and just off the Wii U's and maybe play a couple of those games because um, I was there for day one playing Splatoon
Mhm.
and thinking this is freaking amazing. Like especially for the Wii U, that was such a cool game and like something not so non Nintendo at the time. Um, yeah, so it just captured my heart straight away. This series and just what it's brought, and so happy it's become so popular. So, but come next month, that game's pretty well like nerfed out, and I don't think it's like maybe just the basic story mode. That'll be the only thing you can really play in that game,
Yeah.
which is pretty sad.
Yeah, well, it's already sort of gutted because, like, Miiverse is gone, and that was such an important part
Yeah,
of like the plaza where you go in and you see everybody's drawings and all that above their head and their statuses, what they're posting on Miiverse. That's what sort of made that feel so special. But
mm,
in the sequel and the third one, you can like leave messages and that. They sort of bring that over, but it's not as like communal as what it
no,
originally was on Wii U. Yeah, that's definitely something I'd
right.
love to see just come back for Switch 2. Like, just like bring back the community features, like Miiverse plus Street Pass and all of that stuff. Like you
Mm,
can make something special with the amount of people that are like Nintendo gamers now. Like something like that could be really special. It could also be a nightmare for Nintendo to moderate. You go from 13 million Wii U's to like, whatever the next system will sell. Hopefully it'll be 80 to 100 million. It won't be too much of a decline
yeah.
if the trends, continue
Mm,
with what's happened previously for Nintendo.
yeah.
But
You
yeah,
make,
you
you
can
make a good
imagine.
point though. That they do it currently for Splatoon 3. Like I see a few sort of things,
Yeah.
people posting and drawing on that. So it is a smaller version of that. And there must be some sort of filtering, censorship stuff going on. So it's not like they completely turn their back to that kind of thing. So it's possible. I would like to see it. Yeah, same. Just brought over the entire console because um, yeah, that was one of the cool things about the Wii U that just the Switch just doesn't have.
Mm. Yeah, the Wii U was
Mm.
the best system ever made. It really was. Say that with heavy sarcasm. All right.
Yes,
Anything
yes.
else you'd like to say about Splatoon 3 side order?
Um, no, I'm just I haven't finished it yet. I still want to keep playing it. I got to like I think floor 25 and I've like paused it because we had to go out for dinner obviously with you guys the other night, and so
Interrupted your
I need
run.
to get
Sorry
back
about
into it. No,
that.
that was the best part. So I can actually save it between floors and come back to it later. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Just yeah, having a good time with it. Keen to keep going.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
I'm keen for an update as well. Prince of Persia. Have you beaten it?
No, not yet. No, I will get back to it. So I outside of
Mhm.
Splatoon 3, I had finished another code. So I'm doing stuff. I'm ticking
Oh,
things
yeah,
off.
brilliant.
So
Yeah.
another code's done. I was a little off with the second game, Journey into Lost Memories, but I was only partway through chapter 7, and then after talking to you 2 weeks ago, and on my last show, my podcast, it was literally the best stuff of the whole series. I feel I had just gotten up to, and
Oh, okay. Awesome.
it very much redeemed the game, that part of the game for me, that second part, and just the way it just sort of ties everything together so well. Not just that second game, but the entire series. And I think from what I read and understood, it was a bit open ended originally. They were thinking in case of the third game, this is some other things would come out, but this is very much not. This is all tied together. You got very much tugging the heartstrings and some beautiful moments there. Um, so that was cool. But you get to chapter 8 and it's literally just a movie, and you put your controller down and you're just watching for like I felt like an hour, I reckon. Not in a
Oh,
bad
really?
way. Not in a
Yeah,
bad way,
that
but
sounds
just
that sounds
like
good to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was just like I knew, okay, had pretty well done everything. It was just sort of like there was a lot of exposition, a lot of story, a lot of ends being um,
Hmm.
corrected and explained. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was a really cool time. Something the Switch doesn't have a lot of Nintendo doesn't do a lot, but I'm very glad they brought that one back and gave it a new sort of chance for some audience, new people to sort of love it and appreciate it. So, yeah, another good one I recommend. Maybe with a price cut. I think maybe for people thinking about it, maybe wait for its eventual sale.
Yeah, it is one of those games where you're not sure, like, will I enjoy it? Like, there is a demo, but
there is
definitely,
a demo.
definitely $20 off or something will definitely help with that. It is cool that like it was like a second chance for the developers to go back. Like, all right, we're not going to get funding for a third game, and quite frankly, I don't know how they got funding to just to like remake a DS and a Wii game and merge them together. Like, I reckon that's pretty cool of Nintendo to do. I know that like it's not, they knew that it wouldn't be a massive seller, but it's just a great like genre and something to have in their portfolio as far as like the Switch library goes. They've got like the mega hitters, and then they've got like stuff like Another Code, and just I'm gonna bring up stuff you said in Nintendonia just purely because I just listened to it, and you were talking about Mother 3 coming to Nintendo Switch Online, and I'm sitting there in the car just thinking to myself like, they really like funded Another Code Recollection. Nobody was asking for it, you know, for better or for worse. Like, you know, it's a niche game. It's a niche game. It's got their fans, and you know, it's great. You know, you enjoyed it. It's getting new fans on Switch. That's great. But at the same time, in the boardroom, they really did sit there and go, all right, you know, we will fund this. You know, we've got the story there, but we'll tie off some loose ends. You know, nicer graphics, a few more modern mechanics. Obviously, won't be touch and motion based. You know, they're sitting there in the boardroom thinking that, but it's like years and years of people just wanting a freaking simple translation of this Game Boy Advance game that came out during the DS's life, which didn't make it to the States. There's been petitions. There's fans have literally done it themselves. They've sat there and done it themselves. It's released available to people who, you know, play on PC or modded Wii U's or Switches, even like modded Nintendo consoles. And they're still like, no, we won't do that. We're not gonna put it on Nintendo Switch Online as a nice incentive to sign up for a subscription service, which will hook people for years and get money out of them for, you know, potentially a long time. We won't release it as an individual download like we've done with like the original Fire Emblem game on the Famicom. Like it is truly baffling. It really is.
You make some very good points, and it's not like my blood is boiling at the thought of, yes, they did make that decision to do Another Code instead of Mother.
They really did.
Bloody like effing 3.
Nothing against Another Code. Like I said, it's brilliant. Like it's really cool that they.
Yeah, it is.
They brought back like a niche DS game that was kind of like a pioneer of the visual novel genre on that platform, which was just gigantic. Obviously, Ace Attorney and Phoenix Wright, and well, they're the same game, but you know what I mean. Like so many of those games came out, and that was largely one of the first ones, but. They really.
Why haven't they done it, Drew? Why haven't they done it? What's the reason they're not doing it then?
Well, I think it's the same reason it's always been. It's just that there's not that much money in it for them, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe I haven't played the game as well. Maybe they look at like, I guess some of the themes and everything in the game. That's like, oh, it's not quite acceptable. Maybe for a 2024. Western audience, you know, there's a lot of reasons. I don't think money is just the only reason. But it's just it is funny just to think about what they fund and what they don't fund, and that is just something where it's just like, look, just translate the game and we'll do a nice little release for it. Because they have given like the Earthbound series love. They basically translated and did the first game. Everyone's really excited when it came to Wii U. They made it like an event. That was like the major thing of like the Nintendo Direct at the time, like Earthbound Beginnings coming to Wii U. It's like it was like the release of the month, just because there was like nothing on Wii U. Like the consistency of games coming out.
Oh, that's right.
Was so low. Like they made a thing of it, and then Earthbound coming out in the Wii U Virtual Console was big as well. But it's just Just
they can
surely,
do
like,
it. They
yeah,
can do it. They
but
should do it.
I just
shut us
wonder,
up.
like, that we're probably like, we just want a translation of the Game Boy Advance game, put it on Nintendo Switch Online, make it an individual download for $15, $20, whatever you need to do. But they might look at it being like, we can't just do the Game Boy Advance game. It's got to be nicer graphics. It's got to be at least widescreen or updated in some way. There's just some features that need to be brought into modern times. They probably look at it like they need to do more to it to justify a release rather than just the ROM with a translation patch.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've heard about some of the themes being a little sensitive, but they've just re-released it in Japan full content wise. So I don't know if that's a thing and whether that translates to the Western audience. But I just don't think it's as much of an issue as people think it is. So I don't know if they're remaking this game, why would they release it on NSO? So it makes me think if they're going to do something, they'll just do a direct translation like the fan translation, and just charge us for it. I think that's the way they do it, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's less or more likely now because of this Japan NSO announcement. Not sure.
Well, in Japan, it's just a normal game coming out. Like it doesn't mean anything for us. It's just like it's a game that they've had access to for years, and it's coming out on Nintendo Switch Online. But here it's like this mystical, like big thing that's
it's huge, isn't it?
Within like the Nintendo like hardcore community. It's like this is like a first party Nintendo game, the third in the series. Never got translated because of like the poor sales of the previous game, as well as being a Game Boy Advance game. In 2006, it honestly, it didn't make sense for Nintendo of America to like localize it and bring it over. Like it didn't, like, to bring out a Game Boy Advance. Yeah, like the DS changed things. They didn't necessarily expect it, and 2 years into the DS's life, where's the incentive to put resources towards Mother 3? 100%.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but when it comes to like Virtual Console and the things that started up, with Wii and 3DS and Wii U and now Switch, with the whole online service revolving around it, I think it makes a lot of sense to put in a team to localize it for the service. But it'll be one of those things we'll have to wait for. I've literally got it sitting on my 3DS with the fan translation. Like, it's literally, I can play it like right now.
I've played it. I've played it. I just want, as I mentioned on my show, it's not just wanting me to play it again. It's I want more people to play it and enjoy the game and what it means, and get the love out there that it deserves. And if it could hopefully pave the way for more games to come in the series and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like, I mean, Nintendo's been sort of teasing us all for a little while. Like, this was before I was caring about it, but like, Lucas coming to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, it was like, oh my god, it's like bringing another Earthbound character into Super Smash Bros.
Very cool.
And it's just hasn't happened since. I've named my firstborn son after the main character from the game, and I'm patiently waiting.
Yep, you're right.
Patiently,
you're the real Mother 3 super fan.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were an hour into this, and we have not talked about the things we were deciding to talk about.
Jesus Christ! I'm so sorry, Josh.
No, you're right.
I'm so sorry.
Let's do it.
All right, let's talk about some games we're excited for from the Nintendo Direct, the Partner Direct, happened a week or so ago, whenever the hell it was. I'm not going to go through all the games, not going to do all that, but I just want to pick a couple that you're excited for. There's a few here that I'm excited for. I picked out 5 by the looks of it. I did like that little chart thing Nintendo releases on social media, and did the thing where you tick or
circle,
you cross of them. And
yes.
Looks like I picked 5, which I'm pretty keen to dive into. But do you have like the amount of games you're like 100% going to spend your hard-earned money on?
I definitely know a couple. Let me re-look through my list and determine which ones I will definitely spend money on, though. Let me you maybe go over your first one that you're keen to get.
Yeah. I think for me, like I quite enjoyed the Nintendo Direct. I didn't really have any expectations going into it because I'm not really looking for more games at the moment, especially like third-party games on Switch. But I think I was actually really impressed with the Direct. There's a bunch of stuff for like a lot of people and a few surprises in there as well. I think the one that I'm keen to get into, but it's not straight away. It's going to be Penny's Big Breakaway. I'm keen to play it. I was going to pick it up and like, have it installed on Switch for my holiday, but I'm like, look, there's a couple of other things I want to get to. And I never actually ended up touching my Switch at all on the cruise, not even once. I was saving sort of like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, like a pretty easy pick up and play game just for the holiday, but never ended up playing it. Was too busy chasing after a 2-year-old on a boat.
So doing your time away. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah. Didn't end up playing it, but I'm keen for Penny's Big Breakaway. Keen to pick that up. I probably won't play it on Switch purely because it's 30 frames on Switch, and on Steam Deck it's 90, and on PlayStation and Xbox is 120. And for like a fast-paced platformer, I'm like, I probably actually do want the frames for that type of thing. And it's not like a cheap game either. It's like $48. So
is it?
Kind of want to. Yeah, like it's not that cheap either. So it's like one of those things that's on my wish list. But this was a shadow drop, but it's something that's been in previous Nintendo Directs and other showcases, and I really like the look of it. From the developers of Sonic Mania, just really get the idea of like speed and platforming. So keen for that one.
Yeah, and, that does look good. I think that'd be one of my 5 as well, just because big sucker for 3D platformers, especially the ones of yesteryear. They always had their probably heyday back in the day with Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie and Super Mario 64. And so I get big vibes, that kind of era of things, and I think there's a lot to collect in doing this as well. So it was great. There was the shadow drop as well, but yes, it is on my wish list. I just didn't look at the price when I did do it, so that must have been because I'm like I've got no time to play it right now, and like if it's on my wish list and there's a sale, that's when I jump onto these ones that I'm not going to get straight away, but want to get.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the wish list is a feature we all need to use. But what's one of your games you're excited for, or that you will actually probably play? You will probably.
Yeah, we'll probably. Sorry.
Cancel it out.
It's Pepper Grinder. I like the look of this one. This is Devolver Digital. This is a very cool looking pixel based looking game. They're calling it a dig venture. I just love the cutscenes. It was they're jumping from like trucks to vehicles, digging through areas. Just looks like a really cool, fun platformer. And if it's anything Devolver Digital, it's going to be a pretty good time. So this comes out I think later this month. So yeah, I will pick this one up and have a good time with it, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely on my list. I don't know where it got announced, an Indie Direct, or it got like announced at a Nintendo something at least.
Yeah. Was it an indie showcase? Can't remember now.
Something like that, yeah. And it caught my eye straight away. It looks like so much fun. It's beautiful. I hope the gameplay like holds up to what it looks like. I think there is a demo for it, so you can try it. But for some reason, I'm not interested in trying games before I play them. I don't know. I think Octopath Traveler kind of put me off like playing something before I actually am moving through it, making progress in the actual game. Because like while you can move your progress over for those Square Enix type games, I've got to play it like the day before it comes out. Otherwise, I'll fall off of it. Because with Octopath Traveler, I played it. I'm like, this is great. Played my 3 hours and bought the game. It unlocked, booted it up, the save file. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I got no idea where I am. Not even.
Yeah, when it's a big RPG like that, definitely. Yep.
I know Pepper Grinder is a different
demo like that.
situation where you just do a couple of levels and you say, "Oh, this is fun."
Yeah.
But it was even the same like with Mario vs Donkey Kong. Obviously, that's a game I've played before, so I know what it is. But even that, I'm like, I don't want to do like 2 levels because I I don't know.
Oh, that demo was so short though. That was like 4 levels, and that was literally it. It was teasing me because you couldn't do all the ones shown on the screen as well. I'm like, what are you doing to me, Nintendo? Let me play at least all the levels on the screen here. Very quick. It's a short game, I suppose. That's why they did it.
I watched Seth play it on his All In YouTube channel. I just watched him play. I'm like, yeah, that looks good. Looks like the game I played before, but pretty, very pretty. With some bopping redone music.
Yeah.
Probably the next game for me be World of Goo 2. And it's sort of weird because there's a lot of like Wii-esque games in this direct, which is really weird for me because I'm like, it's going, I'm just sort of like getting back into Wii. I'm buying some of these games. I'm playing some games for the first time. I'm reacquainting myself with others, and World of Goo comes up. I'm like, this is
stars are aligning.
A game that I was. I know that it was like a WiiWare exclusive for a long time, but I'm mainly familiar with this game on PC, playing World of Goo on PC. So like it's all these years later, World of Goo 2, Nintendo Switch timed exclusive. So kind of cool. Gonna give it a go. It sounds like a neat thing to pick up on Switch and go through levels and progress that way.
The first one was huge on the WiiWare back in the day. It was like
massive.
That's a massive the one to get if you're going to get something on the WiiWare was a World of Goo.
Yeah. And I don't think I ever bought a WiiWare game purely because of my internet connection at the time.
I was the same. We just didn't have the connection for it, and I wanted stuff. And then like that was me with Virtual Console. Like I absolutely hated that, like people could play the stuff, and I just couldn't do it. And so that always annoyed me. And like even with Brawl, they'd let you play the 2-minute teasers of those games.
Oh yeah.
And it just annoyed me. I could never do it. So it was just like I always looked at it fondly as a kid, and like wanting to do it, but never could.
I only had like very few Virtual Console games, because getting the points cards was annoying because you always had like a few points left. You had to go and buy them from the store, all of that stuff. But I had like the little Wi-Fi dongle which plugged into your computer. And the computer was like far away, so I had to get like an extender for the USB and hang it over the ledge and point it towards the lounge room through like a doorway. And I think I got like Paper Mario 64, Kirby's Adventure, and maybe something else. Like I had very few stuff, and that was a task to get them, but did not get World of Goo. So keen to play that. I'm actually going to install a bunch of WiiWare games on the Wii here. I got all the
nice old red Wii.
Yes, you can download like a Virtual Console and WiiWare. They're called WADs if you want to look for them on Google. Can't show you where they are, but maybe in a private message I can.
Yep.
You just download a WAD, and through the Homebrew channel you can install them onto your Wii like you downloaded them officially. So good. So that's pretty cool. So I've got like a bunch of the classics ready to go to install on that. Hopefully I don't brick it. That'll be a shame. But we'll see.
Brick your Wii. Yeah.
What's the next one you're keen for?
Pentiment. The more I've read into this and post the showcase, the more I'm like, I need to get Pentiment. So this is one of the 2 Microsoft games that came after all the ruckus about what's coming. We get Grounded and Pentiment instead of, I think people think of Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush, sorry, and maybe not Grounded, but so this was just one of the scissor reel games at just before the Rare and the Endless Ocean announcements. So it kind of just got, I felt like, tucked away at the end there and forgotten about. But it's this beautiful looking game, and the animation in this is like just really stunning, and it looks like it's a story driven game where the choices you make like have a really big impact on the village that you're in. So it's a bit of go like choose your path, and these actions will have these consequences later on. And so just in the Discord, just hearing some really good things. Buck, one of the people in the Discord, just like raves about it. It's one of their favorite games, and so I just like I need to play this. So I will get this. It's like $30. So I confirming it here. I will buy it and yeah, give that one a go.
Yeah. And I completely forgot about that when we started talking about this direct.
Yeah.
This was the one where we're all pointing towards like, when is Xbox finally going to announce like, you know, their games coming over to Switch and, you know, obviously PlayStation 4 and 5 as well. And yeah, Pentament's a massive one, you know, a Josh Sawyer, you know, joint from Obsidian, which is exciting. And it's a game I've been wanting to play as well, through Game Pass. It's been on Game Pass since it came out a couple of years ago. And it's something that I wasn't that interested when it came out. I didn't know what I was playing at the time, but sort of thinking about it more, like it's a game where you're making choices and progressing the story, and without like any combat or any like anything like that. And more I think about it, I'm like, actually, that's what I really kind of want at certain times where I'm not in the mood for like, all right, got to learn how to parry and dodge roll and use, you know, buff up my sword and all my gear and all this. I don't necessarily need that from all those games. So it's something that, you know, when I'm in the mood for, it's going to hopefully fill a gap, and perfect for Switch. Like, you know, Xbox making sure this comes over. I hope it really does give it a second lease of life. Because you can see Xbox and PC is going to find its crowd, but you can see that maybe like something where, you know, a lot of visual novels are played, for example, on a handheld platform, that this game might really find its home, which would be great to see. I hope people that are interested really do support these games coming over from Xbox, because, you know, the more the merrier. That'd be great if they do bring over more stuff, especially.
It's great for Nintendo fans. It's awesome to get these like. I just laughed at the one-sided relationship. Like Xbox just like, hey, we love Nintendo and Nintendo loves us, but you know, here's our games. Like, oh, Nintendo, you should bring a Mario over, and Nintendo's just like looking the other way, completely ignoring them and not reciprocating anything at all. It's quite interesting, but you know, this bold new direction for Xbox, isn't it? It's the exclusives are there to die now. They're not gonna, you know, live or die by that. They feel Game Pass is strong enough on its own as a proposition to get people across.
Yeah, it's especially before it was all announced and it was just all up in the air. People were losing their minds, like, oh, is Halo Gears all going to be over on PlayStation? People were losing their minds, and I too was a little bit nervous, just like as an Xbox gamer. I'm like if I buy something here, is it going to be here in 4 years? Can I access it? Can I it's a serious question when you've got money invested in a platform, and especially if you're into achievements and all that stuff too. It's like, it's a genuine question. Are you going to get out of hardware? Because they could, because their console's selling really bad. Like, it's just the reality of the situation. But
it was massive, the whole hoo-ha about it, and it's really died off now since the announcement, because it's just like, it's just a few games, and it's you know, it's not everything. It's just it's some things, and it's a slight tilt. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, we will see more come out. Like,
probably.
It'll eventually get to the point where, you know, it might be just Halo and Gears, maybe Forza. It'll be like the big games exclusive to Xbox, but all of this other stuff will be, you know, coming out across all platforms. But it is it does kind of suck. Like, it's not bad that other people who can't afford an Xbox or don't want an Xbox or whatever have access to these games. It's great. Like, for example, you're not playing on PC and you don't have an Xbox. It's great. You can play Pentiment. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
But you can see like just like the argument for like all of these smaller games really make for a culture on a certain device, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not just Super Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and Mario Odyssey that make the culture on Switch. It is the Another Codes. It is like the smaller Mario sports games. It is like these exclusive indie games. It makes a whole ecosystem, and the Switch truly does feel special because you know those games are available on it and they're tailored towards Switch. Whereas, you know, Xbox, it won't have that. Like stuff like Hi-Fi Rush, which is like, oh, this is an awesome game. Jump on Game Pass, and you know that's how you play it. It's great that you can play it on PlayStation 5, but you know that sort of specialness of that ecosystem and what Xbox are doing is going to slip away. Like that is just a reality of the situation. It's better for the games, but it's not better for the subscription service. It's not better for the box. And personally, I don't mind. I'm not like a diehard Xbox fan, but as somebody who has all the consoles and I like that each one feels special and unique, yeah, it is like it is interesting just to look at it, being like, hey, this one's kind of losing its specialness in some aspects.
What makes it really special and unique is going to get eroded, and I think it gives less reason for people to go to Xbox now. And people will be happy to stay with Sony. People will be happy to stay with Nintendo now because they're getting a few of those other games that they occasionally go, oh, that's cool. I would love to play that if that was on my console. Well, now they probably sometimes they'll get to do that now, and you don't feel as inclined to buy an Xbox as well, I suppose.
Yeah, and reality is people didn't care. They've been battling since the just abysmal Xbox One reveal in 2013.
Yeah,
and it hasn't recovered. People just don't care. Like Nintendo, they've got their exclusives. They've got a unique form factor being handheld. They've got their thing. And PlayStation, they've just established themselves as the brand name. Like the name PlayStation is just so strong. And if you want a box that plays games, everybody just goes and gets a PlayStation. It's kind of like, if you're going to get a phone, you might get an iPhone or you might get a Galaxy. You don't really look at a lot of these other options necessarily. Well, phone might be, you've got so many options when it comes to Android and that might be a bad example, but I think PlayStation is just the place to go. Like if you want like Call of Duty, for example, or like Cyberpunk or whatever it is, if you're not looking into PC, because you want something plug and play, I don't know how many people are going like, oh, Series X, fantastic. I know people, but majority, definitely go towards PlayStation. But yeah, that's cool. Pentiment on Switch, brilliant.
Go play it. I will. Yep, I will. What's your next one?
Endless Ocean. I probably assume that this is on yours too, but Endless Ocean, was it Luminous?
Luminous.
Yeah, so like I said, on my sort of Wii kick, I've always looked at the Endless Ocean games and been like, I want to play that. But it was a game when I was a kid that I wasn't going to set aside $80 or whatever it was at the time. I think it was there was a range on DS and Wii. I forgot what it was called. It was for like their Everyone titles. Was it? Oh, I forgot. Someone's going to message me. Usually it's Zach on the Discord saying, "Hey, this is what you're thinking of." Yes, it was. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was it was like a part of like the range, like the Nintendogs, Brain Training, all of this stuff was Touch Generations. That's it. Touch Generations, and it made no sense that name on Wii, but it is what it is.
I don't get it either,
yeah, so it might have been a bit cheaper for that reason potentially, but yeah, it's just a game where you sort of you just sort of casually scuba dive. You're looking around the ocean. You're marking off things you're finding, species, plants, all that type of thing. It just seemed like a kind of relaxing game. And I was thinking about it a little bit today, just on my drive back, and it reminds this is a memory just flooded back to me. But before I was playing games on console, a lot of my stuff was on PC, just my mum's computer, and it would be games that I get from the public library, and a lot of those games were like educational / kids games. I can't remember what it was called, but it was an Arthur game. You know the cartoon Arthur?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a game where like he was like it's 2D and he's diving and you're marking down all these creatures and that kind of what you're doing in Endless Ocean, but in 3D. And I really enjoyed it as a kid.
Okay.
So I can see myself enjoying Endless Ocean, just going down there and sort of the collection, sort of ticking off boxes aspect and exploration, but not like Zelda where you're like, oh look, found a group of moblins and I'm going to blow them up with this and I'm going to take the rupee and all of that type of stuff. It is just like a little bit more lax. I don't know if there's like an end, like a kill screen, like a game over or anything like that. I got no idea in Endless Ocean.
Yeah,
whether you run out of time,
stingray or something comes up and kills you. I don't know if that's possible or they don't attack you. Maybe. This is like Microsoft Flight Simulator kind of simulation vibes, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
In the ocean and people are like, is it a game? Is it not? For me, like at first with the room is like, oh, okay, like I've heard of it. Like, okay, is it just scuba diving and you're just exploring? But the more I read up on it and the fact what you can do online with friends, I think if we've got a few of us,
Yes.
like if you get it, I'd love to go on with you and a few other people in our discords and just like
100%.
have
Yeah.
for a night or
Absolutely.
two and just sort of just be under the sea and just be complete idiots or something. That sounds fun to me. And if it's priced pretty well, and hopefully a few of us get it, then that might be a fun time. And if you do it the 2 times and that's it, then so be it.
Yeah, I wonder where the fun
Yeah.
is in multiplayer because, like, in single player, 100%, like, you're like, oh, like you're swimming down there, you see a cave, you see a light,
Yep.
you go towards the light, you come in a chasm. Oh, there's all these fish that aren't like in the rest of the area because, I don't know, it's warmer in this bit or whatever it is. Oh, it's pretty cool. You're discovering stuff. But when you're like multiplayer, it's like you're just swimming. Like, can you interact with one another? Like, I can't remember if it showed that in the direct or not, but I reckon that could be interesting. Like, am I just swimming behind you and looking like between your legs, like just at your
Yeah.
butt, just like, oh yeah, this is fun. And
Please
we're
do.
talking. Yeah, please do, please look.
Oh, yeah, like
yeah,
that.
are we just swimming next to each other, being like, yeah, this is like you want to go left? Yeah, I guess so. We just swim,
Yeah,
swim down together. I don't know,
correct.
but
But I think you could do this sort of stuff. You could dive with friends on the Wii versions, and so I'm just looking at eBay. Oh, and if you had Wii Speak, you can even talk to them while you dive.
yeah, yeah. I saw the We Speak interaction. Yeah,
Yeah, hell yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, this will be educational as well. And I think it's yeah, why not? Definitely on my
Mm.
list. I'll get it.
Before the direct, I saw a post on X, basically showing like it's the the post said something like, oh, it's like, oh, sarcastically, oh yeah, Nintendo doesn't pay attention to their less known franchises, and they use another code as an example. I don't know, Punch Out, like whatever, and they used another. They used Endless Ocean as an example as well. They posted like the title of the first game, the second game, and Endless Ocean Luminous. And I saw them. I'm like, is there a third Endless Ocean? This was before the direct, before the announcement. And I
Yeah.
googled Endless Ocean Luminous, and nothing came up. I'm like, is it just something that they fucking made up? What are you talking about? Then the direct happened.
So that got leaked, the actual name.
It must have. They had it.
Wow.
They had the title and the font and everything. Like they had.
Wow.
They
Okay. I didn't
they
see
had
that.
it. No, I didn't see it either. Apart
I knew it
from
was leaked that'd be an Endless Ocean game, but not the title of it or anything like that.
yeah, well, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about it apart from that tweet. Just someone saying like, just says like, Nintendo, they don't just release Mario games. They release a lot of Mario games, but they do these other sort of projects as well.
Mm.
And I'm like, was there a third Endless Ocean game? When the hell did that
Yeah,
happen?
it was.
So I Google it
When's
and it
that?
just doesn't exist. I'm like, I don't know. Then obviously
Yeah. Lo and
afterwards, I'm
behold,
like, huh. They knew
there it is.
something we didn't. There you go.
Well, like, this could have totally been a mashup of the first two games, or just the best bits of each of those two games as a remaster or a remake of those, and that is fully what I was expecting when I heard Endless Ocean was coming to Switch. So the fact that it's a new one, I mean, like how different would it be anyway in terms of what a new version is to a remake of those two when it's all based under the sea? I'm not sure. But no, it's cool. It's cool that it's a new entry and it'll have new features, hopefully, and 30 players online, all that kind of stuff. So, um, yeah, just great that we're getting stuff like this. These
Yeah,
weird niche things, a lot of them are coming to the Switch now. We're going to look back and there's a lot of stuff they've ticked off.
it's cool to
Not
see
like the
too
three, mind
because
you, but a lot of stuff.
they're a developer as well that doesn't really get to make their own sort of unique titles all that much. Like it's a
It's
studio
Eureka,
that's
isn't
worked.
it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they've done like the 99 titles, like Pac-Man 99, Super Mario Bros 35, Tetris 99, and like a bunch of the 3D classics on
Yeah.
3DS.
Yep.
Done a bit of work on Tekken 7 and 8. So like, yeah, it's sort of like a support studio and someone for
Mm.
Nintendo who does like these like touch-ups of older games or some of their online offerings that they're offering with the service. But this is like I guess like a fully made payable title that they're releasing for like for full
Yeah.
price or whatever it is. Which should be interesting. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm keen for it. It's just something different, and I
Yeah,
reckon
it's
I'll
very
try
cool.
and I'll try and touch the first couple before this one comes out in April.
Are you gonna buy them on the Wii and play them?
I'd like to, but I think I'll download them for now.
Okay.
But I will buy them. Yeah, I've just bought like how many fucking games I bought in the last like 30 games.
Would have been so good if you picked one up this weekend. It would have been like, oh, very cool.
Yeah, it would have been good. But
yeah,
it's funny for Wii because you gotta flip through some shit.
There's some horrible things. There are some horrible things. I don't
understand why people bought this. Like,
no, people had no idea.
Shocking. Like, yeah, absolutely shocking what people bought on that thing. I'm like, you really didn't. Did you really buy this over Mario Galaxy? Like,
really? It happened. It happened.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't even cheap at the time either. You know what I mean? It was like still $80 or whatever. Nope. Crossed my. Yeah, like when I picked up the Wii, like the second-hand stuff I had with it, there was like a karate game and the U-Draw stuff, which tanked THQ. Oh man, that was some rubbish. Anyway,
shit out there. It's
some shit out there.
Some shit out there.
Do we have one more left from each of us? Do we?
Yes, I got one more. Anyway, for me, it's the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection.
Very nice.
And so, these are
that was
the
like
2000
yeah. Oh, sorry, I was just like that. That was a moment in the direct. I'm like, ooh, like that's a cool announcement that I didn't know if it could happen just due to EA making their own Battlefront games. Last one coming out 2017. So it's like, oh, it's cool. I
always thought, that was the reason it wasn't happening, because all the other Star Wars games around that time, like Republic Commando and Jedi Outcast and all those other ones were getting releases, and these weren't. But the 2004 and the 2005 sequel, these were my jam as a kid. I loved these so much. Poured so many hours into them. To have them together now, be able to play it fully online. I always played it locally with my brothers or solo with me against the CPU. And so being able to do it now online with others would be really cool. So I'm hoping that it runs well on the Switch online, because this is not just 30 like Endless Ocean. This is 64 players. And so there could be a lot of chaos with that many people out and about. So I'm just hoping, it's a 20-year-old game now that it can manage that. But we will see. I'm keen for it, but I'll wait for the reviews, see what it's like.
Yeah.
Because online for me, I think it's a deal breaker if it's not good enough.
I got a bit of a cheat for you just to make sure it works. Probably pick it up on your PS5. That was probably I don't know. I wouldn't trust the Switch online. I wouldn't trust it. But who knows? It's probably fine.
If it's I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like Splatoon 3 is good online. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they've managed to work it out. So I think they can do it if it's they invest the right architecture background and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Lingo wise to make it work. That's on them though. The developer and publishers, for them to work through. So I hope it's all good, because I want to play these again, and Two's such a good game. Just builds so much on the first one and lets you play as the heroes, and you can play as the Jedi and the Sith and all the other cool characters, and absolutely destroy anyone else. It was it was good. So I'm really hoping that they can work it out.
Yeah, the Battlefront games, to me, I enjoyed them. But it was always going to my friend Jordan's place. He loves Star Wars, just loves Star Wars so much. And he was my Star Wars friend. And it's probably how I got introduced to Star Wars. Like, the prequel movies, that was massive around like 2003 with Revenge of the Sith. So it was, always went to his place. And typically I would want to play Mario Kart or Smash Brothers Brawl. But he loved Battlefront. So I played Battlefront with him. And since it's just like, he was so good at it because he was obsessed with it. But I was just like picking it up at his house every, I don't know, whenever I go there, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever it might have been. So I was like no good at it. And in hindsight too, how many third-person shooter games was I playing? None. So I was not that good at it, and I just got smoked by him. And it was the same with my friend Adam too, because he would go over there all the time as well. And I remember talking to Adam and like, man, I hate going to Jordan's and playing Battlefront. We just get bloody smoked by him all the time. So they're sort of my memories. I never had the game myself, so I never like experienced, Galactic Conquest or any of these things.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll be fun too. Like on Switch, you can see like, online aside, just pretend online doesn't work, which it should. It probably will work. It's just when it comes to Switch Online, it's just the niceties when it comes to like, partying up and voice chat and all that stuff you don't have access to, but it should work. But when it comes to like just having the tablet and being like, you want to do some split screen Battlefront? That's mind blowing for like, 9-year-old Drew and Josh. Like it really is. That's pretty cool. God.
Yeah. And if it's the same game, that's what it was. Split screen like that. And get tabletop going, and you'd have to zoom in a little bit just to see what's going on.
Yeah.
But,
it's really cool. I put Battlefront on my maybe sort of list. Like I might pick it up. Like it depends. Like it's I don't have that big a nostalgia for it, but I can see it being a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll see when the time comes. But cool. Really cool that it's here. I guess before I get to my last one, I'll just quickly go through like my maybes. I've got some maybes. Epic Mickey Rebrushed. I probably won't play this, but I am going to play the Wii version. I got a physical copy in the mail from eBay, like I think I mentioned.
Yeah, play that one.
So I'm going to play that one. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, another one. Like I really like Monkey Ball. This is a brand new Monkey Ball game, so pretty cool. I'd like to give that one a go. Banana Blitz was like the one I played on Wii, all those years ago. So that'd be cool. Fantasy Life, I might play it. I like the 3DS. Yeah, the 3DS one was cool. I like the idea of like the relaxing sort of aspect, as well as like, getting to choose your job, the town building stuff, the action stuff. Yep. It's just like a cool sort of mixture of genres, which I find appealing. So it's cool. Pocket Card Jockey Ride On, 3DS game. Brought over to the Switch. I'm not sure if it's like similar to the Apple Arcade version that came out last year on iPhone and iPad. But it's cool just to see this Game Freak game get a new lease of life. That's now that the 3DS eShop is dead. And I actually haven't played it, but I'm kind of inclined just to play it on 3DS, just because that's where it originally popped up.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
They've done a good job converting it to Switch, and the demo's been pretty long. I've had a decent playthrough of the demo, so
okay, cool.
Just because I was curious just how it works, and the premise of it so wacky and cool. I thought that was quite funny. But yeah, I don't know if it's enough for me to sort of pay and keep going. I think through the demo, I've sort of experienced what I need to out of it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I just hear people say like how addictive it is and all that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like cards. When you say cards in a video game, I kind of check out a little bit. And that doesn't make any sense. For everyone. But yeah, I don't know. I don't mind cards. It's just a video game cards. Yeah, a bit of solitaire, a bit of horses. I love horses. Cute little cartoon horses. Bloody nice.
Mickey liked the horses as well. She was watching me play it, and really enjoyed the horses. I didn't tell her that the horses can have babies, and I think that would have melted her mind. I'll tell her that later. I'll save that one. That'll be quite funny.
Little cartoon foals. That'd be cool.
Little foals. Yep.
Another Crab's Treasure. This game's actually coming out the Game Pass, so that's an easy one to play on that. When I've got a subscription.
Yeah, save it for that.
Yeah, pretty cool. Like I guess like a Souls sort of inspired game where you're playing as a crab and you can steal other crab shells. I reckon it's a cool little premise.
Yeah.
Unicorn Overlord. I put this on the maybe. I think it looks cool. A Vanillaware title, strategy game, but it's ultimately out of like this list of maybes. It's at the bottom just purely because of the time, and it's probably the most expensive game on the list too. So I probably won't get to this one, but wouldn't mind playing it.
Yep.
And then last year, Monster Hunter Stories, which was a 3DS game. It came to mobile. As a paid title, came to Apple Arcade as well. And I'm not sure if the mobile version got all the voice acting and all this stuff that's going to be in the Switch and PlayStation versions. But this is like voice acted and everything now. Like it's got a massive glow up from the 3DS. And since Monster Hunter,
big upgrade, isn't it?
Yeah, Monster Hunter Stories 2 was great. Had voice acting and cutscenes, and it was really nice. It just I stopped playing the the second game because the frame rate was atrocious. It was awful. Like it was the game looked nice enough, but it ran like at 15 frames at a guess. Like it was a bit of a slideshow, unfortunately. And but the mechanics and everything were really great. I think if you can play that game, maybe if you don't care about frames or you got a Steam Deck or whatever you have, I think it's a great game. So if this game is optimized well for the Switch, doesn't have those problems, and it has the voice acting and the mechanics and everything, I think it's going to be a great pickup. But the game that I will want to play, and this was announced at the Game Awards late last year, was my text is a little bit small here, but what's it called? Tales of Kenzara. I think that game looks really cool. You play as I don't know. I don't really know what the premise is, but I remember when I saw the trailer at the Game Awards, and obviously the developer came out and had a heartfelt speech about how it's a tribute to his father and all that. I think I hope that wasn't just like a cheap shot that came up in a marketing room. I hope that was him just speaking from his heart. I will take it, but I think that sort of resonated with a lot of people, and the game looks great as well. Sort of like a Metroidvania. With the combat looks pretty neat, and the whole premise of like the African lineage and all that. It looks really interesting. I do wonder though how it feels in a post Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown world we live in, because that game was just flawless as far as like how it felt and the elements of the Metroidvania, the exploration.
Yeah.
That was like a pretty flawless Metroidvania. So another sort of higher budget Metroidvania game coming out from EA Originals. Be interesting to see how it holds up compared to that. But I'll be there for it. I'll be keen to give it a go.
Quite similar, the vibes to it and the look.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's quite striking, just and how close it is to release as well. So yeah.
Is this on your list because you're a Metroidvania fan?
Yeah. It'd be one of those. I'll wait and see just to see what it's like. But I didn't realize it was Metroidvania, to be all honest. So yeah. This barely got any time in the showcase. This is a very quick look. I reckon this is like 10 seconds at most, probably less.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I guess the chart that Nintendo released, like the titles they put on there, you might look at some of the titles and be like, was that in there? Like they might have given it 2 seconds of game time. Yeah, but this must have been in the sizzle reel or something like that. But yeah, that's sort of the games I'm keen for. Games you're keen for, Josh. And yeah, I think if I've got 5 games where I'm like, Endless Ocean World of Goo, Pepper Grinder are just like 100%. Penny's Big Breakaway and Tales are going to be, games that are yes, I want to, but wait for a bit of a sale, and then all those other games as well where they will be on the wish list or Game Pass or something like that. So I think it's a sort of a great partner direct, and left with a bunch of stuff that I'd like to give a go.
There's some good variety there. I think people complaining there was nothing there. I think they probably weren't looking close enough because I don't know if there was some massive things, but there was some good solid stuff there. And so there are definitely a few things that have piqued my interest and keen to sort of check out. We haven't even mentioned the rare stuff. There was a whole bunch of NSO drops as well. So like 5 retro rare games. Got Blast Corps on 64. Battletoads and Killer Instinct, some other ones as well. And so, that was cool. I think everyone just wanted a general direct though, because people want to know where the direction of Nintendo is, to get a clue of what's happening this year, and if it tells us anything about the next console, the Switch 2. I don't think if anything, it shows Nintendo told us the thing that comes out in May, and we'll get Luigi's Mansion 2 and Paper Mario a bit later, June, July, August maybe, and they don't need to tell us anything now until I reckon June. Have a direct then.
Yeah, that'll be good. I'm very keen to see what the next thing is, but at the same time, I'm nervous about leaving the Switch generation. A little bit, because with a new console will bring more expensive games and all of that too. Like there will be things we will miss in hindsight.
Yes.
And I think try and have that hindsight now, if you know what I mean. Like enjoy what we've got going now. Like yes, soak it in. Because catch up on the backlog, get some remasters that are coming out, all those remasters. Princess Peach comes out next month. You know, we got some good things going at the moment.
Yeah, some good stuff coming up still.
Live in the moment. That's something I've got to get better at. Just live in the moment. Don't worry about what's coming out next. Don't worry about the next $700 device you need to buy from Nintendo. Don't worry about it. Calm down. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I'll calm down. I want it now.
Calm down, Josh.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. All right, speaking of things we've got to look forward to in 2025, the Pokemon Presents. This also happened, and I think we got a couple of pretty cool announcements. I was I was watching it early in the morning. I was trying to stay up. I was on the boat. I had reception where I was in the middle of the ocean. I had like a bit of, and I was like, look, I was listening to a podcast trying to get asleep, and the Presents was at 12:30 at night.
Yes.
And I remember like drifting off, and I checked my phone, and it was 12:20. I'm like, nah, I'm going to sleep now. So I missed it by 10 minutes live. But when I woke up, went to the Presents. I tried to like really like not look at my phone screen while I was doing it. I didn't want to see anyone's reaction.
I do the same thing. I'm on
didn't want any
YouTube
spoilers
in the morning. Yeah, on my TV, just like blocking it so I can just see the outline of the Presents and nothing else, and I click it. Yeah, I hate it every time. You just like trying to avoid spoilers.
So I did that, and just watching it in the morning. It's going through the mobile games. It's doing like the typical thing, like, oh, Pokemon it's brought people together for generations. I'm like, yeah, like it's the same shit every year. Like, all right,
all the mobile games, all their updates.
Yeah, they talk about all the updates, and so trying to siphon money from a bunch of people doing the mobile stuff. I hope it's working for you. I hope it's paying for some games on Switch, all of that. And I guess the first announcement, the Pokemon trading card game Pocket. This was like a bit of an eyebrow raiser for me. Ooh, I've wanted a really good TCG game for a while. So the idea of a game being based around collecting and I guess the tactile feeling of unpacking cards. You swipe to get the unbox the card, and you do the thing where you're like, checking the commons, and then it's actually sort of ordered correctly to have the rares and the holographics and that at the end, and how you can sort of click on a full art card and it like opens up to like a fully illustrated animation. I think I'm like, oh, brilliant. So this is something I'm actually really looking forward to. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is just like, I hope it has iPad support so you can see that beautiful illustrations and all of your collection on like a big screen. You can go to your tablet and enjoy it there.
Yeah.
That's something that like the Pokemon apps haven't done a good job of. Just having iPad and tablet support. At least on the Apple side, they could potentially on Android. I'm not quite sure. But that's just something I would like to see, as well as like, I know it won't because they haven't said it, but it'd be good to have it on Switch too. Just be a great thing to just have on your Switch or the Nintendo platform. That'd be cool. But apart from that, I'm really excited.
Done it for a few of their mobile games, cross-platform.
Yeah, like Pokemon Unite was one of them. I think that's a great game to play on Switch compared to your phone.
Yep.
Yeah,
Quest as well. Was that just Switch?
Quest. I think Quest came a little bit later, but it's not cross-play, so you've got to choose one.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think that was a sort of a great little announcement. Nothing. I guess if you're like looking for Switch content, it's it's not on Switch. It's another Pokemon mobile game, which there's already so many of. But just the fact that you get like 2 free pack openings a day. I'm like, okay, I can see they're really sort of putting the
free
fishing line out. Yeah, they're really putting that fishing line out. So, yeah.
Drew, I'm scared if I get this and I start playing, am I going to like start being addicted to Pokemon cards and start buying them? Because the app intrigues me, and 2 free packets a day, like I'll just start with those 2. I'm not going to spend any money. But I saw the animation. I saw the way you swipe to cut open the packs, and sounds very satisfying as well, and how they come
It
out. And
does.
they would know how to sort of capture your attention and get the dopamine hits going when you unlocks or get some really good cards. So um, I'm interested but worried at the same time, if you get what I mean, and if this could lead to a new spending splurge habit, habit or something, a new hobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things because Chantel and I, we went to a card hobby shop today, just because I saw a cash converters. So I went in there just to see what they had. They had nothing, didn't pick anything up, but we went to a hobby shop, and I said to Chantel, like, it's like she's so out of place in like a hobby shop with like Warhammer and cards and all that stuff. And I said to her, I'm like, I'd be so into this if I could be. And she's like, oh, would you? Like, why can't you be? And I'm like, when you're into when you're into like these hobbies, you got to pick a lane. You're into anime, you're buying figurines, stay in that lane. That's an expensive lane to be in. You're into card collecting, stay in that lane. That's an expensive hobby. It's a time consuming hobby, learning the game, all of that stuff. Or if you're into video games, that's the lane I'm in. I love video games.
Yep.
I love, keeping up with recent, new releases, all of that stuff. It's an expensive hobby. And even I feel like game collecting, like what I'm doing with Wii and all that at the moment, that's almost another lane, which I'm in too many lanes as it is. So the idea of like having like that third lane, which I've been in before, especially during COVID with Pokemon cards. I went nuts on Pokemon cards. I spent like easily over $1,000 that year on Pokemon cards.
Whoa. Really?
I was smashing Elite Trainer boxes and everything that year. I was.
Yeah.
I was. Yeah. Wasn't much else to do, and a little bit of extra money because like my work somehow picked up that year. So lucky and all of that, but at the same time, be like stuck in your house, something fun to do, bit of dopamine. Pokemon cards were great for that. I think a lot of people experience that, but. That's a lane that I can't stay in if I want to do these other hobbies I want to do, especially second kid on the way and all of that type of thing. And that's something you got to keep in mind too when it comes to this app. This is a gateway drug, Josh. There's no betting around the bush.
I know it is. I know it is.
This isn't like a fun little game you're gonna play here and there, and you're gonna unlock a. Yeah. Look, you just open it up while you're waiting for a bus. I got some 6 cards. Cool. It's going to be like
just a taste won't hurt, surely. Just a little bit.
Just a bit of a nibble.
Just 2 free packs a day. That's all. That's all I want. I don't want anything else.
Yeah, but just 2 free packs a day. You know what that looks like? Just in like a realistic setting. I want everybody to visualize this while you're listening to the podcast.
Yep.
You wake up. You're like, oh, yep. You go bzz, bzz, phone. You've got a pack available. Oh, bloody beautiful, mate. You click on that pack, you open it up. I don't know if you get the 2 packs in the morning or like it's on a certain timer or it's like available at 7.
Waiting or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the situation's going to be or whether we'll eke it out. See, this is what I would do if I was them. I would eke it out throughout the day. You can unlock 1 and then at lunchtime or whatever, you can do another one. So you can't just do 2 at once. Yep. You've got to do throughout the day.
Evil, Drew.
Yeah, so then you get like, say at lunchtime. You're at work, you're going click, clack, clack on your computer, or you might be like me, you bent over a sheep, bloody ripping its wool off, chucking it in the bale. There you go, bloody sheep. Then you bzz, bzz. Oh, Pokemon pack's available. Let's see if I can get that shiny Charizard card I've been looking for a while. You unlock your phone, Face ID, whips open. Go straight to the app on the home screen because, my God, you don't want to waste any time. You've got that bad boy right on the home screen. You get into that app, click on that pack, you slice it open. You're like, fuck, that feels good. It feels so good opening that pack. And you've been waiting for that feeling all day. You've been fucking jonesing just to open that pack. When it opens up, you see you got a Numel card right at the front. You slide it. No, I don't want the Numel. You see a Spoink card. You're like, nah, where's the good stuff? You see, you got a buddy. What else you got? You got a Donphan. Oh, Donphan. That's not bad. I could use that in some TCG battles. That's not bad. I need a Fanfy though to be able to evolve it. But that'll do for now. You slide the next one over. It's a holographic. You're like, oh, here we go. What's the next one going to be? Is it going to be is it going to be an EX card? Is it going to be one of those rainbow rares? It's going to be a full art Pikachu card. The next slide comes over. What do you see? You just see a trainer card. Professor Magolia. You are so fucking disappointed. But don't worry, the next time then you are going to put that phone away.
Be better next
time you pick it up, it's going to be better. You just got to wait for the next day. But
totally going to be better.
But for $8, you could have a pack right there, man. You could have a pack right now. You could be slapping your veins and really injecting it straight back in. No waiting time whatsoever. And that's where they get
strong.
You. Don't know. Can you avoid that temptation?
Yeah, well, we shall see. We shall see.
We shall see.
I don't want to. We shall see.
I hope that painted the picture for people anyway. Just,
Yeah.
Are you strong enough?
It's addictive.
Are you strong enough? I wasn't.
They're so pretty. Those cards are very immersive. Looking at those, some of those ones you go through the portal, like kind of gateway, like bloody hell. Very nice. Yeah, not bad at all.
I want to go through the portal. Take me through the portal and be in the little forest of Pikachu, please.
Yeah, just have a little picnic on the hills there. That looked wonderful.
Looked nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sometime this year, eh? This one's coming out.
Yeah. So sometime this year, which should be fun. Enjoy your dopamine. But the major one, which we just got a teaser trailer for, is a brand new Pokemon Legends game. Pokemon Legends A to Z, Z to A. So I'm when it comes to this game, I find it hard to be excited just from where we are when it comes to Pokemon at the moment. I'm very down on it at the moment. But when it comes to the actual idea of a brand new Pokemon Legends game, it's officially a sub-series now, which is great. I found Legends Arceus so much fun, regardless of the nitpicks and the critics, the critical aspects you can put towards it, which are obvious and we've talked about in the past. But it was so much fun. I think it was really great rethinking of how you play a Pokemon game, third-person action game, actually involved in throwing the Pokeballs and all of that stuff. It was really fun. So great we're getting a new one. And just the fact they're diving in on, the Kalos region, which we didn't really get all that much in Pokemon X and Y. And there's so much backstory to, the storyline of that game. There's a whole Pokemon war that happened, hundreds of years ago before the events of X and Y. And it's actually really fascinating. So it would be cool to dive into all of that stuff in a Legends game, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
So I guess, what are some of your thoughts of just the idea of a new Pokemon Legends game and based in the Kalos region?
Oh, it's like the perfect one, I feel. Not just because of everything you mentioned and the stuff they could delve into and explore and make a really cool Legends game out of that, but also the fact that X and Y, the Kalos region, they only got their two mainline releases. Never got that third entry. Every other generation's either had that third entry or the sequel or the DLC, and Kalos got nothing. We all wanted that Pokemon Z or Z, whatever you want to call it, and it never came here, so or anywhere. So, yeah, I think that's a big cool thing for me, just to sort of explore that a bit more. I'm glad Legends is not just a one and done. They must have been happy enough with the sales, and I think the overwhelming response to that game was just how fun and refreshing it was, and just a different to what the mainline stuff was. And so I really hope they do sort of learn from it and really sort of take it to that next stage, that next level of really go even harder with the open, with zones last time. If they could make it open world, if this is one big city where you can just sort of go around anywhere, that would be so really cool. That'd be so cool. I do have my concerns though, because it's a one big city, and that's a lot more to sort of show and display, and it's not just a big open field, less objects, things like that. So, I'm a little worried in terms of how it's going to look. We didn't see any gameplay footage here, did we? So, I don't even know if this is an early 2025 game. I mean, it's still probably a year out from being released. I mean, what Legends Arceus was January 2022, so they might stick to that kind of window again if they felt that worked for them. But yeah, we're still probably 11 months at a minimum from seeing it from being released. But 2025 could mean any time till holiday next year. Well, I don't think it'll be holiday next year. Yeah, we've got a while to go, but that's great. I thought, yeah, really good announcement. I was just surprised that if there's nothing Pokemon related this year, there might be something, but maybe it's a smaller thing that they announce later. But it won't be a big Pokemon series per se. I don't think now.
Yeah, maybe, but if we were getting something Pokemon this year, it would have been here. There's no reason for it just to not be here. I don't know what other sort of event they'll be waiting for. I don't think they'll be like, oh, look, at a Nintendo Direct, there's actually, I don't know, a new mystery dungeon game, or God forbid, what was missing from this event, which really disappointed me, was, no Game Boy or Game Boy Advance games coming to Switch or the online service, just in general. That's
yes, I still wait for that.
Thing. Yep. That's another thing that's missing. And at this point, you may as well just not bother coming, because if if they wait till like the Switch is like 7.5 years old or 8 years old, and then it finally comes, so are you kidding me? Like at the end.
Yeah.
Like I might have another device I want to play these games on, and if there's no backwards compatibility or, forward sort of playability on another console, it's like, God damn it. Like, it's kind of like the 3DS. Yeah. They kind of did it with that. It's like for years and years playing 3DS, and it's finally moving on. Then the games came to the Virtual Console like 2016, was it? Like it was like stupid late. Like I was checking the eShop every week, like for years and years, like just seeing if the Pokemon games randomly come out. Like I know they wouldn't, but it was like it was a bit of a mystery each week. Like, check the eShop on Thursday night. It's like, oh, the Donkey Kong 94's out. Awesome. Like download that. Like I was just, just random games trickling out. I was sort of just waiting for it. And it took years. Like, it fucking broke me, man. Oh, here I am again waiting.
I mean, might be the same thing. Yeah, I honestly feel if they're going to bring them to NSO, they have a separate app or something, or they bundle all the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color games to the expansion pack somehow, and it's like a separate Pokemon app or something. I don't know. That's their way to get more money through it, or I don't know. But yeah, I just feel I've heard a bit of like discussion about this happening next year means they're not rushing development for this game at all, or anything like that. I don't know about that. It's only been 2 years since this first game came out.
That's right. It's only been 2 years.
It's going to be 3. It most likely it'll be 3 years, because it'll come out probably Q1 next year. They haven't learnt anything. That's a typical main series cycle for them. 3 years. So well, we will wait and see. If it's later in the year, maybe, but not by March. So I don't think that's really a thing.
Yeah, the only sort of silver lining or devil's advocate thing I can put on that, just to at least make myself feel better, and I might make some other people out there feel better about it as well. It's just like the development of Legends Arceus. I was like, all right, it was a team that is really thinking about how to bring Pokemon into a different play style with, the action elements, the throwing the Pokeball, a lot of different mechanics they had to build. Thinking about the world, how you interacted with the Pokemon, how they interact in the world, how they interact together, how your Pokemon interact, how you can get around, with the flying, the gliding, the climbing. All of this had to really be designed and thought about when designing the game. They made it, it came out, people liked it. Now making a sequel, these assets should be largely there. They've got the building blocks. So the 3 years that they used to develop this game isn't so much put into all of that. There's a lot more time and hopefully resources put into, a sequel that they've laid the foundations down for, which might result in, a game that is up to, hopefully the standards of what you would expect from Pokemon. But that's definitely devil's advocate coming out of my mouth. I don't know if that would be the case, but there's a reason why we didn't see it. Because when we first saw Legends Arceus, it's like, oh wow, like that's Dawn bloody stealthing up on a Zoomerall or whatever it was. It's like, wow, that's awesome. But at the same time, it looked awful. I was like, what the hell's going on with this game? Holy shit. Like
those frames, and
they're moving at like, 10 frames a second type of thing, just like a slideshow in the distance. Which is fine. It's early development.
It looked horrible.
It's just it is.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. So I guess they're just yeah. But
I mean, yeah, the gameplay looked so fun with this, and it was just so different. I think having them actually in the wild and being able to hunt them, not just interact by running into them and starting a battle was a really cool aspect and concept they played with. So I think that's what most people care about.
Yeah, but I do think it has a lot of promise. Like, hopefully having like a dense city, being able to explore and the exploration and catching Pokemon and all the stories that can take place in an environment like that, it could have a lot of potential. I am just nervous though, because like typically open world games on Switch, with Breath of the Wild, it's very much a case like the story sets it up being like, oh look, the world was, the land of Hyrule was destroyed and we're rebuilding. And when you're exploring, it's just like, oh, there was a village here, but it's been blown up. Oh, there was this here, but it's been disappeared. So it's not as taxing on the limited hardware that the Switch has to offer. And the same with Legends Arceus too. It's like, it's back in time, so it's just like a bit of a hill here. It's the ocean here, and like there's not like villages and towns and all that to come across. And with Scarlet and Violet, when there is towns to discover and all that, you see what happens to the game. So I am just wondering how they can make how they can make a dense environment and make it feel like a lived-in city and actually interesting to explore. Because even the difference between like PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, like Spider-Man taking place in New York, like the jump to PlayStation 5 was crazy because they're able to process so much more traffic and people and actually make it feel like New York. Whereas like Lumos City, if you remember it on 3DS, like it was just like, it's like a city, but there's like 12 people there, man. Like it doesn't feel like a city. And now it's stepping it up on Switch, but it's also, will it make it feel like a bustling city where like Pokemon and people unite and there's side missions and a bustling community and there's heaps of stuff going on?
Yeah.
Not sure, but that'll be for us to find out in the next
wait and see
edition of Pokemon Presents.
I'm looking forward to it though. It'll be great. These games are pretty fun. So, yeah. What do you think of the name with the A, making it ZA, Z-A, ZA, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah,
and the theories, like the future and the past, and like the potential for time travel or something. I've heard these things online from people sort of potentially dissecting it because there's Tron elements with the futuristic potential, and then obviously the urban kind of older looking plans at the start. So there might be a range of time periods that you go through.
Oh, dude, that'd be like, there's so much potential. Like we could go back to like the Great Pokemon War and like experience that, and participate in it. You could.
That'd be so cool.
Like there's stuff like that, like the
something
stuff
so different as well.
Yeah, stuff. What's the guy's name? Is it AZ or just Z? I can't remember. I think it might have been AZ. I haven't played X and Y for a long time.
Yeah, like I played it once and never played it again. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the storyline of him, like trying to find like his beloved Floette, and like all of the stuff that's set up for like in the past, and like the weapon that Team Flare are after, would be fascinating to explore. But there will be a sort of time travel in this, because there was time travel in Legends Arceus. You're somebody from modern time being taken back to ancient time, and
that's right,
exploring the game like that. So it will be in this game too. So yeah, there's just lots of questions I have, but I love the idea. I'm really excited about the concept that they've set up. And as somebody who sort of went into this presentation, like massive Pokemon fan, but at the same time, just, wanting them to take their time, show me something worth being excited about. And I think this was like, all right, I'm definitely intrigued. I'm very keen to play it. Obviously, I haven't seen anything, so when it's time to ramp up the marketing, I'll be there to watch your little trailer. But hope they do a good job on it. Hope they do a good job on it. No pressure, Game Freak.
I hope so too.
Have I lost you? I think I lost Josh. Well, I think that brings us to the end of the House of Mario. I think he's disappeared. But yeah, it's very excited about all of that stuff, and I think I'll end the show there. Everybody, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 261. I think next week we should be back on a more consistent basis, considering that I've just come back from a holiday and it's time to get back to the real work. You know what I mean? But we should be back on a more regular basis next week. I got a text message from Josh. What's he said? He really has disconnected. We lost power for a second. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, right. Too easy. Well, that's all good. We'll end the show there anyway. But yeah. Oh, I'm just a bit thrown off. I'm not used to recording by myself now. It feels a little bit strange. You go from talking to somebody and you're just talking to yourself. And it must be really strange as an audience member just to go from those different perspectives. Must be. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, guys, until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye.